When Hulk's raw power meets Thor's hammer and lightning, who's stronger? Could this be the greatest contest of Asgardian thunder versus Gamma Rage ever? Or will it be a total mismatch? How does one compare a god to a monster? Will this be another case of only in comics where Hulk can take out Thor? Let's take a look at this incredible matchup. Hulk vs Thor is always an exciting fight, and fans have been debating who would win for years. Some say Hulk because he's just too strong to be defeated by anything other than his own rage, while others argue that Thor, with his godly powers, experience, and wisdom, would be able to defeat the Hulk if given enough time to prepare. So, which one do you think will win? Let us know in the comments below. Hulk vs Thor is a fan-favorite matchup that has happened several times over the years. In the comics, they've gone back and forth about who would win in a fight between these two heavy hitters. But what if there was a way to determine, once and for all, who is stronger? What if the Hulk and Thor went head-to-head in a no-holds-barred match with all the rules clearly laid out before them? Let's explore this hypothetical situation further. The Hulk is a creature of pure physical strength. He doesn't have any special abilities or skills, but his raw power is unmatched. The Hulk's punches can level buildings and his kicks can send tanks flying. He's also virtually indestructible with a healing factor that allows him to recover from almost any injury in seconds. Thor, on the other hand, is a god of thunder, with access to lightning and the power of the Asgardian people behind him. He's also an experienced warrior who knows how to use his weapons and abilities effectively. Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, can summon lightning and thunder, and he's also capable of wielding other powerful weapons such as the Destroyer and the axe Jarnbjorn. In terms of their fighting styles, the Hulk relies on brute force and aggression. He'll charge forward and try to smash his opponent into pieces. Thor, however, is more tactical in his approach. He'll often use his hammer to keep his enemies at bay while summoning lightning bolts to weaken them before striking the final blow. If Hulk and Thor were to go head-to-head in a no-holds-barred match, it would be an epic battle between raw power and godly abilities. The Hulk would definitely be able to land some powerful blows against Thor, but I think Thor would be able to hold his own thanks to his experience and skill in combat. Plus, Thor has a lot more tricks up his sleeve that he could use to defeat the Hulk if needed. For example, he could try summoning a giant serpent to fight the Hulk, or binding the Hulk with magical chains. Of course, the Hulk would likely just break through those obstacles and keep coming at him, which would make things difficult for Thor. It would be a close match, but I think Thor would eventually be able to outmaneuver and defeat the Hulk using his godly abilities and experience. Now let's examine each person and find out what makes them so great. We'll start with the Hulk. Hulk. When you think of the strongest superheroes ever, Hulk is probably the first one that comes to mind. After all, he's literally known as the strongest one there is. At least that's what his nemesis, the leader, once told us. This may be true, but depending on who he fights, sometimes he needs a little motivation to get his strength to peak levels. He usually gets angry, and the angrier he gets, the stronger he becomes. His super strength, durability, and stamina increase exponentially the angrier he gets. Hulk is so incredibly strong that he can fight gods like Thor and even lift and hurl around planets. He's one of the few Marvel heroes who can take down the Avengers when they are trying to stop him. Even though he's normally a hero himself, Hulk is a monster when he goes on a rampage. He crushes tanks like they're made out of aluminum foil and sends helicopters plummeting to the earth with a flick of his wrist. Now, let's look at Thor. Thor Odinson is the god of thunder and son of Odin, the ruler of Asgard. As a child, Odin sent Thor to Midgard, the realm of humans, so he could learn humility and grow in wisdom. Thor spent many years living among humans and honing his skills as a warrior. He became friends with the human warrior Eric Masterson, and together they fought many battles against the forces of evil. During this time, Thor fell in love with a human woman named Sif, and they had a son together named Magni. Eventually, Odin called Thor back to Asgard to take his place as one of the most powerful members of the royal court. Thor is a skilled warrior, and he's also a master of the mystical arts. He wields the mighty hammer Mjolnir, which he uses to summon lightning and thunder. Mjolnir is also enchanted to give Thor superhuman strength, speed, and durability. In addition to his powers granted by Mjolnir, Thor also possesses a number of other abilities, including the ability to fly, the ability to teleport, and the ability to communicate with animals. Now we know more about both of our fighters. It's time to let the facts speak. Facts. In the 616 universe, Hulk has actually defeated Thor quite a few times, and while some people say that's because Thor was holding back, it's not really true. First of all, Thor rarely holds back. Second, the Hulk doesn't really hold back either. He just goes all out every time. That being said, Hulk's strength is completely dependent on his emotional state. The angrier he gets, the stronger he becomes. And, as such, he can't be relied upon to win a fight against anyone, even someone as powerful as Thor. On the other hand, Thor is a god, and as such, he has access to powers that mere mortals like the Hulk do not. For example, Thor can call upon the power of the lightning to heal himself or enhance his strength and durability. He can also use his hammer Mjolnir to create powerful shockwaves that can knock the Hulk off his feet. But now, let's look at some facts that might surprise you. Did you know that the Hulk has a weakness that could potentially be used against Thor? Well, actually, it's not just a weakness, but a fear. You see, the Hulk is terrified of magnets. Now you might be thinking, what kind of nonsense is this? He's a big green guy who gets stronger the angrier he gets. Why should he be afraid of magnets? Well, when the Hulk is exposed to a strong magnetic field, it causes him to lose control over his alter ego, Bruce Banner. In fact, this happens so quickly that the Hulk doesn't even have time to become enraged and gain strength. Before you know it, Bruce Banner takes over and the Hulk reverts back to his human form. Now, this wouldn't necessarily be a problem for Thor if he could somehow keep the Hulk away from the magnet long enough to defeat him. But the truth is, the Hulk is much stronger than Thor, and it would take a very long time for the God of Thunder to wear him down. By then, the Hulk would likely be close to victory anyway. However, there is another fact that might surprise you. You might not know this, but the Hulk has actually been deified himself. Yes, at one point in time he was actually considered a god. This happened after the Hulk sacrificed himself to save the life of the Silver Surfer. When this happened, the Hulk's consciousness transcended his physical form and became a being of pure energy. He was then elevated to godhood and became known as the Immortalis. However, this didn't last for long, as the Immortalis was eventually defeated by the Magus and returned to his mortal form. Nevertheless, the fact that the Hulk can become a god shows that he's truly one of the most powerful beings in the Marvel Universe. Now, it's time to make a conclusion. Who would win in a fight between the Hulk and Thor? The answer may surprise you, but before we reveal who the winner is, we want to hear your thoughts. Who do you think would win in a fight between the Hulk and Thor? Let us know in the comments below. And now, drumroll please, it's time for the results. The winner of this fight is Thor. Despite the Hulk's immense strength and durability, Thor's godly powers and experience give him the edge he needs to win this battle. Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, is a powerful weapon that can summon lightning and thunder. It can also grant its user superhuman strength, speed, and durability. In addition, Thor is a skilled warrior and strategist, which allows him to outmaneuver and defeat the Hulk. However, the outcome of the fight could change depending on a number of factors. If the Hulk were to somehow tap into his World-Breaker persona, he might be able to overpower Thor. Additionally, if Thor were to hold back or underestimate his opponent, the Hulk could take advantage and deliver a devastating blow that would end the fight quickly. But assuming that both fighters are at their best and have no reason to hold back, Thor is the clear winner. Now check out the next video and don't forget to subscribe.